Hey, how you doing? Welcome to a special Thanksgiving edition of Bartending Pro. What we're going to learn today is a couple of really cool Thanksgiving cocktails. Now, these are kind of for like parties or at home on your own, but you can also transfer these to a bar if you're working, if you want to come up with some cool holiday cocktails. If you work at a place that's very craft cocktail oriented, this could be some good options for you that you can come up with, or just for fun for your customers. So we're gonna do 3 different cocktails today. We're gonna do an apple cider Bellini, we're gonna do a maple coffee cocktail, and we're gonna do one called the frozen turkey. So the first one is the apple cider Bellini. Now Bellini just means that it's a drink that's made with Prosecco versus a mimosa that is made with champagne. And we'll do other videos that goes into the details of each of those. So if you make a cool drink with champagne, it's called a mimosa. If you make a cool drink with Prosecco, it's called a Bellini. Okay, so we're gonna make an apple cider Bellini. As you could probably guess, we're gonna have a little bit of apple cider in there. We're gonna use a Prosecco of some sort, whatever you prefer. And we're gonna use an orange liqueur. So this is like a triple sec. If you wanna go a little more snazzy, you could use like a Cointreau here. Then for our glassware, we needed like champagne flute or any style of tall kind of glass that you'd like to use. I have a rosemary sprig here. This is going to be for a fancy cool garnish later. A little bit of maple syrup, cinnamon sticks, and then just a little shaker so that we can mix our ingredients easier. First thing we want to do is infuse a little bit of maple syrup into our orange liqueur. So that sounds a little bit sweet. Most of these holiday cocktails are gonna lean towards the sweeter end of the spectrum. So we'll get a little ice in our shaker tin. We don't need a lot, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 ounce, 2-ish. And then roughly just kind of a, maybe 1/4 ounce splash, just a little bit. Maple syrup is strong stuff. So you just want a teeny tiny hint of that. So we're just gonna kind of stir this around, shake it up a little bit. We're not getting too crazy here. And then we're gonna take our little our little rosemary sprig out of there. Just shake it a few times just so it's mixed. I'm gonna strain that little guy into there. Now that's not our only alcohol. Remember, we have the Prosecco. You usually, you can play with the ratios on this. So you can kind of do half and half. You could do more apple cider and less Prosecco, or likewise, if you want a little more punch to it, you can add more Prosecco and less apple cider. Maybe like a 2/3 to 1/3-ish. Maybe I'm gonna do a little bit more Prosecco than apple cider because I know it's gonna be a little bit sweet already. It's a good bartender. You should always have a bottle opener on your keys. Some little shark one. Just a little splash, about 1/3 of the way. Okay, then we want to open up our Prosecco. This is just like champagne, so you don't want to shake the shit out of this. Let's see if I can pop the top without breaking something in the studio. No, we're good. Look at that, steamy. Fill with Prosecco. Then to garnish, we're gonna add a cinnamon stick and a rosemary twig. Oh, watch that, rosemary is gonna make it bubble a little bit. There is your apple cider Bellini. It's that's pretty damn good. Definitely on the sweeter side. Like, I wouldn't want to be pounding these things all night because you might, it might hurt your head the next day. Still, damn, that is pretty freaking delicious. Smells good. That's pretty tasty. I mean, you can just re-up on this thing. Whoa, gonna go over. Man overboard, man overboard. Always remember to refill your mimosas and Bellinis slowly if there's still stuff in there like fruit that can make it fizz up, and apparently rosemary. There you go. That's tasty, that's tasty. Now the next one is a maple coffee cocktail. And basically it's just gonna have a coffee, a little bit of maple syrup for flavoring, and then we're gonna put dark rum and milk. So depending on how sweet you want this, that's how much will determine how much maple syrup you want to put into this thing. I'd say, just a 1/4 ounce or less splash-ish. some around in there. Always go light, right? Because you can always make it sweeter, but if you make it too sweet, then you're gonna ruin the cocktail. This is just a light coffee that I brewed up. So I put just a little splash of the maple syrup in there. Gonna stir this up while it's still hot. And this is a hot cocktail, so it's a warm, you can, if you want, pre-make this a little bit and let it chill in the fridge, or you can shake it over some ice and strain it so that it's a chilled cocktail if you want, or an iced coffee cocktail. But we're gonna have this one warm. So after we stir in our maple syrup, kind of dissolve this stuff up a bit. Then we're gonna take our dark rum. This is Whalers. You could use Myers, any sort of dark rum that you like. We're gonna do about 2 ounces. 1, 2, 3, 2. And then a little splash of milk or creamer or whatever you would like to use. I don't really drink dairy, so I'm a coconut milk guy, which might be weird in this, but hey, we'll try it and see what happens. You could also use like your favorite coffee creamer as well. Would work really well. Although with the maple syrup, it might make it too sweet. So we basically just have our coffee, our dark rum, a little bit of maple syrup, and a creamer. To garnish, most of these holiday cocktails have a little cinnamon stick and just a little touch of nutmeg on top. And that cinnamon stick kind of disappeared in there. This is a big glass. You usually want your cinnamon stick sticking out of there. So there you go. Maple coffee cocktail. It's pretty good. Just a real kind of mellow, not overpowering flavor of anything. I almost went a little bit too heavy on the nutmeg, just kind of one shake on there, just because the smell is real strong and it affects the flavor. But it makes it more earthy, if that's the right term, I don't know. There you go, so there's your coffee, your maple coffee cocktail. And then the last cocktail is called a frozen turkey. The reason it's called a frozen turkey is that it's blended, and then you're usually using wild turkey bourbon. I personally prefer Maker's Mark, so we're gonna make it Maker's Mark instead. Our other alcohol is an amaretto. You can use whatever amaretto. Amaretto is an almond flavored liqueur. I have Di Serono here. And then for our blending base, instead of using ice, we're gonna actually use an ice cream. Whatever ice cream you prefer. Again, I'm not a dairy guy, so I have, so this is cashew milk, a salted caramel cluster, which will kind of blend those proper caramely, nutty flavors that are real common around the holidays. So again, you can use whatever ice cream you want. And then we're gonna have a little bit of caramel sauce that we kind of drizzle on top to make it pretty. And then we're gonna blend it and pour it into a large kind of coffee mug, similar to the one that I made the last cocktail into. So remember, in the blended drinks video, I show you how to get a proper level of consistency. If you haven't seen that, you can go watch that over here. But in this instance, you kind of want to go, we're going to want to go a little bit heavier on the ice cream, just because this is like a dessert cocktail, right? Obviously. And so a little more ice cream is going to be good. This could be more like an ice cream dish than it will be a drink, really. We'll just add roughly about the amount of ice cream that we want if we were going to have a single serving. And then we'll add our booze accordingly. Let's try this stuff. So good. This is the fun part when you're making shit at home. You're gonna enjoy more. So I'm gonna squeeze. How's that looking? Maybe a little bit more than that, huh? Put another little scoop. So what do you got in there? Maybe a cup and a half ice cream. A little bit more. So for about, thinking maybe 3 ounces, so roughly 1.5 ounces for each of these. Since I don't have a pour spout on this Di Serono, I'm gonna use a little jigger. So there's 1.5 ounces on that guy. For my bourbon, which you would use turkey or whatever bourbon or whiskey you prefer. 6, so there's about 1.5 ounces-ish. Okay. If it doesn't quite look like it's gonna blend, you could maybe add a little milk to it or a creamer if you like, or you can just add more booze, but careful, that'll get dangerous. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of milk to this, just kinda to get this to blend the way that I like. Okay. I put a little bit too much milk in there, I think, because the consistency is a little too thin. So you can either add ice cubes or just, hey, just add some more ice cream in there. I'm gonna do both. Oh, delicious. And then we're gonna make it pretty with a little stripe. Look at that. Just beautimous. Let's see if you guys can see that. Oh, oh, no, that was too full. Spilling, making a mess. Fail, fail. So let's try that. That is really good. See, again, why you always have bar towels. Really good, really good. Oh my God. Just pigging out, making a mess everywhere. And you can get crazy and put like a little chunk of ice cream in there if you want. So play with this one a bit. Well, that was good stuff. All right, so there you go. Those are 3 really good Thanksgiving cocktails that you can make this year to kind of spice up dinner a little bit, maybe show off some of your skills that you've been working on as a bartender. And as always, be responsible. Be careful not to have too many of these. Okay, that's it for this one. If you have any questions or comments or any other cool recipes that you'd like to make on Thanksgiving, please feel free to share in the comments below. That's gonna do it for this episode. I'm Jason. This is Making You a Bartending Pro. I'll see you next time. Take care. For more, check out these playlists. And subscribe to get new videos.